Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video on electric vehicles and news related to India. As we discussed last time, that today we will be not discussing about the news but a very long research article which tries to relate the relationship between COVID and green mobility in India and how it is going to impact the adoption of electric vehicles in India. This research article, I found it on orfonline.org, and it has been written by Purva Jain. So that's about it. It's a very long article, guys. So I'll just try to summarize things which have been said in this article, and I'll just take you through this. Okay. So in the introduction itself and in the the gist of the article is that what it's trying to say is that electric vehicle sales are around 0.7% of total passenger vehicle sales in India, and the global average is 2.7%. So we are lagging behind in that way, that only 0.7% of the total passenger vehicle sales in financial year 2020, that is April 2019 to November 2019, is just 0.7%. If we talk about the total numbers, it is 0.15 million in India, which means if I convert it into lakhs, it's 1.5 lakhs. This is just two-wheelers and three-wheelers, just two-wheelers and four-wheelers, not the three-wheelers. And the comparison, the annual sales is 2.1 million, 21 lakhs. So India is just catching up to this particular number, and onset of the COVID-19 has definitely made necessary a policy shift from the government side. And as we proceed in this article, they are going to suggest some measures which government should take in order to reinvigorate the EV revolution in India. Then it just goes on to make a case about how it is electric vehicle reduces CO2 emission. We don't need to discuss this because we already know this. They just discusses some frameworks, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and other things. As we go on, and then it talks about National Electric Policy, Electric Mobility Mission Plan, launched in 2019 by Department of Heavy Industries, and that's when the FAME 1 was launched. And under this plan, government had set some targets about electric vehicles. And then there is a very, very interesting table about sales of electric two-wheelers and electric four-wheelers. This is something very interesting we're going to look at. You see electric two-wheeler sales, financial year 2016 20,000, next year 23, next year 54,800, and next year 1,26,000, and next year, which is this year, is 1,52,000. So the rate doubled from financial year 17 to 18. Then it again almost doubled to the financial year 18 to 19. It kind of did not double. So I think COVID definitely reduced the adoption of or let's say rate of growth of adoption of electric two-wheelers, and unfortunately for four-wheelers it has actually dropped from 3,600 to 3,400, and 600 buses have been instituted. We don't have electric data for electric three-wheelers, but I can tell you that three-wheelers is definitely way ahead of four-wheelers, and even and is as par with two-wheelers in terms of numbers. So this is the data which they have stated, which is from Car and Bike Inc., 42, Autocar Pro, Bloomberg Inc. And then they just go on to list out what Phase 2 FAME scheme is all about, and it was launched in 1st of April 2019. And the one point they bring out is that FAME 2 committed 100 billion rupees to this whole EV ecosystem, which is like 19 times higher than what FAME 1 actually spent, and that was a big number. But the problem which now they're saying is that because of Corona, there is financial stress on the government, and will government actually meet its intended target? Will it actually provide money to this upcoming sector, which may not be considered as extremely critical by some parts of the society? So how much incentive the government is actually going to meet against its commitment. That is something we will have to look forward to. And because it will directly impact EV sales. Very important point they have raised is that FAME 2 guidelines are so stringent that it is very difficult for electric two-wheelers to get enlisted in under FAME 2 and hence get the subsidy benefits, and that will definitely impact the EV sales and EV production. So that's one thing which is pretty worrisome in FAME 2. And as it again states that electric vehicle sales is primarily driven in India by two-wheeler and three-wheeler markets, and so these stringent conditions under FAME 2 need to be relaxed. That's what they're saying, that in order to really make this demand incentive successful. Then it brings about the way forward under the COVID-19, and what they go on to state is that pandemic could either force government to cut down the incentive, or it may force the government to provide a further stimulus. And then paper goes on to produce that EV should be part of the recovery stimulus that government will plan post COVID. That is, it should be, because it is critical sector, it is an upcoming sector, it has environment benefits, so these things should be taken care of, along with the long standing doubts about EVs, which are upfront pricing, range anxiety and lack of charging stations. So these are the important points, and what they're saying is that currently EV sector is trapped in a cycle. Manufacturing and charging station remains limited due to lack of demand, and demand is poor because lack of economies of scale, keeping the prices up. So it's a vicious cycle we are into, and we need a desperate stimulus package from the government to get out of this vicious cycle. And then it goes on to state that along with this, we will require innovations in manufacturing, conversion kits and end of life vehicle management if we really want to make EVs mainstream. This sector is still dependent on imports. We are really dependent upon imports in terms of the spare parts and the parts which actually make up an electric vehicle. In my last video, I did capture that even for batteries, we are primarily importing from China and Taiwan. One of the factors is that lithium is not that, we don't explore much of lithium in India, so that's one of the factors. National mission on transformative mobility storage, government must invest in battery recycling. That is fine with us. Then it just goes on to make a case where how our dependence on EV imports is impacting the trade balance of India, and then is saying that you need to also invest in skilling of labor for EV sector, that you need to push for self-reliant, that if you have to train people, like you train mechanics, electricians, you have to train people to make them ICE technician, make them the proper technical person for EV sector. Then it just goes on to mention some initiatives that have been taken in the geography. One of them is BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, and it just goes on to state that India can leverage that particular agreement with its neighbors. So in conclusion, what it says is that government should invest in this FAME 2, and it should include it in its recovery stimulus post COVID, because otherwise it will be very difficult for EV to pick up after that. And so it's a very good article. All of you should go through this, and what I'll do is I'll put a link of the article in description of my video, so just go through it and let me know if you have any question in the comment section. Please like and subscribe to this channel for more news and articles coming in future. Till then, goodbye.